Hey guys, this week we are going to start working on chapter 12 in our Math in Focus workbook, and we're going to be talking about fractions. So what is a fraction exactly? A fraction can be two different things. But the first one thing it can be is a fraction can represent equal parts of a whole object. So in this example, I have a whole object, which is a circle, and the circle right now is split into two pieces. So the top of a fraction is what's called the numerator. Say it with me, numerator. That's the number that goes on the top of a fraction when we write it. And it is identifying how many fraction pieces you have. So I have a blue one up here because I have one piece of my two pieces that are highlighted. So the numerator goes on the top. Then our denominator, the number that's on the bottom, is how many equal fraction pieces all together. 1, 2. There's two pieces, but only one is highlighted. So if I said how many pieces of this circle are highlighted, you would say 1 or 1/2 because there are two pieces. The next thing that fractions can represent are equal parts of a set of objects. So right here I have a couple of cookies, and it's showing that I am giving away two parts or two pieces of my 4 cookies, and the whole number of cookies that I have is 4. So I have 4 cookies. I'm going to give 2 to share with you. So I would write my part 2 over my my whole number, so 2/4, which would also equal 1/2. But we'll get into that when you're in a later grade. But so, reviewing what we just learned are that equal parts of a whole object is one way that fractions can be represented. The number on top is called the numerator. The number on the bottom is called the denominator. Fractions can also be represented as parts of a whole set. And so the top number, the numerator, would be representing the part, and the bottom number would represent the whole. So the other really big thing to think about when we're talking about fractions is our language that we use and what it's representing. So this is what is a fraction, and then looking at how we would phrase some of our fractions. When we have 1, it is known as 1 whole. So all of the parts of one shape or group of numbers, or group of objects, sorry, is represented by 1 whole. We can take that whole and split it in halves or divide it into 2 equal parts. 1/2, 1/2 is still going to be equal to 1 whole. You can also split a number into 3 pieces, 3 equal parts, and those are known as thirds. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. 3/3 is going to equal 1 whole. And then the other last representation of a fraction I have on this sheet is going to be fourths. So that means we have cut this circle into 4 equal parts. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. And that's known as fourths. So you can keep going. If you divide something into 5 equal parts, it would be fifths. 6 equal parts sixths, 7 equal parts sevenths, and so on and so forth. The really big thing to remember is that they're being divided into equal groups. So we cannot have a fraction at this point that is unequal. So that takes you to our math workbook that you'll get started on, chapter 12. And what they are having you do in this first part is to put an X that next to a shape that's going to be divided into equal parts. So thinking about, is everybody going to get the same amount? So looking at this square is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4. It's divided into 4 pieces and they're all equal. So that is an equal fraction. It's equal parts. Looking at this circle though, are those equal parts? No, it's not. So we're not going to put anything there because the directions say to put an X in the box if the shape is divided into equal parts. So it's not divided into equal parts. But looking at this circle, do you think that's divided into equal parts? Would everybody get the same amount? Yeah, you're right. It is. So we could put an X there. So I want you to finish going through now that you know your knowledge about fractions and remembering what are equal parts. Go through and see if you can start chapter 12, at least this first page, and practice identifying partitioning shapes into equal parts. And remember, partitioning just means splitting things up, so cutting things into those equal pieces and dividing them into equal pieces. Awesome job and happy learning, guys.